What's up, guys? So we're coming up on like 9 months, almost a year of trading with Leapfrog together, and I wanted to do a small update. So I added some features for you guys that I know that you'll love. So just small features, one big feature and a couple small features. But to start off with the small features, one, the VWAPs are thinner in size to kind of save real estate. And in that same philosophy, the names of the labels of each VWAP has been chopped down to a smaller abbreviation here just to save a little bit more space on the chart. Now, another thing we did is we added two additional custom VWAPs. We have this color here, which I don't know what this color is called. You could say the color in the comments. And then we also have the poop line, the return of the poop line. So you could put a brown anchored VWAP on your favorite FOMC meeting or something like that. And the final feature is something completely new, but I think it belongs with the Leapfrog because it's been a big part of our strategy last couple months, and that is liquidity sweeps, liquidity sweep alerts. So right now I've got them as dots. You can toggle on these dots right here, and there's going to be a prior extreme dictated by the look back length. So this is just how many candles back on that time frame you're looking at. We're going to be measuring the higher the low that is going to get swept. Now you can also require that the candle that follows that sweep closes back inside the prior extremes. It's a minor difference, but you may want to select or unselect this setting. But what happens is if you take some highs, then it waits for the first candle in the other direction to print you a dot. So the reason why I think it's important to wait for that actual reversal would be a good example of why would be the start of Q3. So starting Q3, we knew that Bitcoin was likely going to take the all-time highs. But what if you shorted this candle right here? What if you shorted this candle right here, or this candle, or this candle? The sad reality is that the momentum was still going. And so what you should have done is waited for an actual sign of weakness. And that's where the red dot comes in. It's going to tell you the first red candle that prints after a major liquidity sweep, and the opposite for the green. So default, the setting for the look back length is going to be 20 candles back. If you set it higher, that's going to give you bigger signals with more gravity, but you're going to miss some of those smaller moves, the smaller SFPs on, not necessarily on smaller time frames, but just those smaller moves that happen on the chart. If you have a very high look back length, you may find the dots not appearing in spots that you think they should. So the 20 can cause a lot of dots to appear, especially on the lower time frames, but if you have good overarching bias, that shouldn't be a problem. Now you can also adjust the candlestick source, whether this is above or below the close of the candle, and if it's positive or negative, that'll also help you with generating the dot there too. So you could manipulate that, but I would recommend keeping this on close. And you could enable the prior extremes if you wish. This is going to show you ahead of time where the indicator is dictating the highs or the lows to be. And so you can see once these highs get swept here, boom, you get the red dot on the first red candle there. So what I've done essentially is I've created a way to add alerts to these quarterly sweeps that I've been talking about ad infinitum for the last like a couple months, I guess I should say. But not every dot is equal, you know? Like once we get a new quarter and then you sweep last quarter's high, you know, it's like, you know, that first red candle's coming, you know that red dot's coming. You probably should have entered a short up here, right? But the red dot gives you that confirmation. And you could see that we never got a red dot here until literally here. So some of these red dots are going to be absolutely legendary, absolute kingmakers. And it's going to be those ones that come out of new quarterly sessions. For instance, look at these lows here. You know, we had a green dot here, but that wasn't the bottom. Green dot here wasn't the bottom. But as soon as we got Q2, boom, we sweep these retards back here, prints a green candle, and look, it's nothing but up. We don't get a green dot until here. So the quarterly, this just proves the point I've been making, which is that quarterly junctions are simply more important than other junctions in time in the charts. And the SFPs and all the things we talk, all the patterns that we talk about in trading are going to have more gravity, more importance around these quarterly sessions. So this is what the dots are really for, but I can show you examples of them working on the smaller time frames here, such as on Aster. You know, on these smaller time frames, there's going to be a lot of red and green dots. And that just goes to show how difficult day trading is for the average trader. Like, this is a nightmare. It's just dots here, dots there, dots everywhere, dots, 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 liquidity sweeping, traders getting wrecked every which way. This is the environment that you're trading in. Yet, there are ways that I believe that we could get an edge here. You know, if you're looking for these sweeps that are bearish in a 5-day downtrend, see that 5-day trend in the background there? If you're in a strong downtrend, then you see how powerful these red dot sweeps actually are. Look, that was a massive dump right there. I actually caught this in the VIP. Look, this is actionable. It's actionable stuff. You'll get red dots in a downtrend, and it's a no-brainer. Just like how you'll get green dots in an uptrend, and it's a no-brainer. So don't just be like blindly following these dots and saying, oh, Groper, why isn't it working? It's up to you to establish a proper bias. And just with great power comes great responsibility. So to set an alert on this, let's set a quick alert real quick. You just right-click the indicator, add alert, and you go to a Leapfrog condition, and you can see that they have their own alerts: bearish after high sweep and bullish after low sweep right there. Interval, you can choose the interval. So I could set an alert for 1 day green dots, basically. That's just going to tell me the next time the 1 day chart tells me some liquidity is getting taken. So really simple stuff, guys. Honestly, it doesn't require that long of a video, and it's totally optional. If you don't like the dots or it's too cluttered, you could always disable it here. But I felt like adding the alert functionality and taking ownership of the liquidity sweep knowledge that I've been talking about, by adding it to my script, it's like I take ownership of it. And I think it'll help you guys. So smash the likes if you like this update. Comment, what was that color? What is this color right here that I put on the custom view up? I don't know what that's called, but I love you guys. Let's have a good rest of the year. Smash the likes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.